dark case. Well, you can see why is it so famous. And I'm just looking at a comic book that a friend of mine, Nicolas Brondo, did of Cayetano. Yeah, Nicolas is a comic book artist of Argentina that he gave me for free a copy of his comic. So if you're listening to this, Nico, thank you so much. It's really well done. So that's the case of Cayetano Santos Godino, better known as El Petizo Orejudo, or the Big Ear Midget.
Argentina's first and
youngest
serial killer, and one of the most notorious.
That is, his title, his honorific or infamous title is being the youngest serial killer, but there was actually a serial killer before him. The first serial killer of Argentina was Domingo Cayetano Grossi, so he shared a name with Cayetano Santos Godino. Domingo Cayetano Grossi was an Italian immigrant as well. He lived in Buenos Aires as well, and he was accused and executed on the 1900s, like at the beginning of the century. What was Domingo Cayetano crime?
Well, he was accused and convicted of murdering 5 newborn children that he had fathered with his own stepdaughters. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
He is actually Argentina's first serial killer, but
something about children.
But still it was an adult. It wasn't a child killing children, and Cayetano was that a child murderer, that was a child himself, because can we say that a 16-year-old is an adult? No. Or a 7-year-old, if we believe his story about his first murder, the murdering of Maria Rosa Fase, her body was never found. He was 7 years old when he did that. And 7 counts of arsons. Not to forget that he really liked seeing the firemen work. Any other thoughts?
I think with the, in hindsight, being 2020, he showed all the classic hallmarks that we now know and can associate with serial killers. And from someone at such a young age to be displaying them and to have developed a habit of this type of criminal activity is something that thankfully the world doesn't see too often and hasn't seen since. Hadn't seen before and hadn't seen since. Hopefully now people can be diagnosed and treated.
Did I mention everything about he never had a chance of getting any true rehabilitation? Thank you so much, because what actually drove his father to take him to the police when he was younger, or in all those different occasions that he was found like being extremely violent towards children, like he would be found and he would taken to the police, because that's where people are taken when they are doing something that society doesn't think that it's right, for the good or wrong, and that there was really not such thing as a mental health structure.
Again, it's easy for us to sit here and make an armchair diagnosis.
Yeah.
But having the bank of history that we do about Cayetano, I think it's quite possible that he may have, indeed had antisocial personality disorder.
I don't like when they use the word monstrous for any human being. Like, I am personally against this. So even though I feel that this case is fascinating, I really get the feeling that Cayetano had an impulse and really enjoy using violence against other human beings and probably maybe enjoy the act of killing. I don't believe that it's right or that he deserved to be labeled as a monster by society.
No, I think he had, unfortunately, all of the contributing factors that under the circumstances and, the grinding pressure of living in abject poverty led to this particular individual and led to the unfortunate deaths of several children.
Thanks for listening. We are Eugenia
And Chris, and this is A History of Evil Men. Thanks again for listening. If you've enjoyed what you've heard today, you can find us on social media. Our Instagram is A History of Evil Men. That's all in one word, so just search for that. Our Facebook is A History of Evil Men, a true crime podcast. And if you'd like to email us, our address is ahistoryofelmen@gmail.com. No spaces in that, that's all one word. And if you'd like to support us, our Patreon is A History of Evil Men. Same as before, all one word. Thanks again for listening.